It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm, Raj Sharma, and Jerry Caldwell. Today is Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Welcome inside the Treehouse Show. On today's show, we're going to talk about something that's a little bit sexy and a whole lot of stupid.
My favorite.
Yeah. And we had a pretty fun discussion with our buddy Justin Foster yesterday about the perils of climbing Everest. Well, that's not the only mountain that has issues on this planet. We'll talk about an issue on Mount Fuji today as well. But since it's Friday, I want to start with something truly special and truly awesome. Gentlemen, I am now going to share with you one of the most shocking things I have ever seen in my life. Are you ready?
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Here we go. I believe, this is the most shocking video I have ever seen.
真是懒驴屎尿多，刚出门，你看，我真服了。
I'm going to play it again.
Ooh.
But for those listening and not watching, there's a man recording on his phone inside of his car. And going around the front of the car is another man who's doing the pee-pee run. He's really got to go number one. And he runs behind a shed to relieve himself. The problem is, it looks like this is not a normal shed. This is like an electrical transformer house. And
Substation.
What's that?
Substation relay.
Yeah. This guy ran behind an electrical substation to relieve himself. And he chose poorly.
真服了，这真是懒驴屎尿多
There he goes,。
刚出
behind the
门
hut.，
你看，
And you hear it, you hear the zzz, and then you see the flash, and then you see the man fall backwards. I assume he's dead.
Well,
But I appreciate his sacrifice because it's making my Friday.
notice those red and white stripes on the corners of the building, which to me generally indicate possible hazard.
That's a good point, Trey, because I don't know what language the man is speaking in this video, but I believe the red warning paint around the electrical substation building should serve as a warning in any language.
服了，这真是懒驴屎尿多。刚出门，你看，我真服了。
Just makes you clench up, man.
You know, and if he did live, you know, he's never peeing the same again.
No,
Like,
no.
No.
I imagine that in the brief time that he went TT on that electrical substation, I think urine came out of places it was never meant to. All at the same time.
you know, and we're dudes. Like, we'd never let him live that down. Like, you'd be at a
No.
bar and he'd go like to the bathroom, and you just stand behind him when he's at the urinal and be like,
真服了，这真是懒驴屎尿多。刚出门，你看，我真服了。
I mean, seriously, okay. In this night scene, there are all these different places that he could go to the bathroom.
Oh,
He
yeah.
picked the one spot in the general vicinity that he should not go, and that's where he went, and that's what he got.
They probably pulled over specifically to go behind there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just beyond it are some trees.
Mhm.
There was actually a sewer manhole cover. You could have, just peed on that. You can just pee in the street. You're a dude. Doesn't matter. Go behind the car. Just stand behind the car with your back to the trunk and go that way. That's
Open the car
fine.
door.
He went to the right in front of the car. What's to the left? Anything, any place would have been better than where he went.
Well, it's also Asia, so there's different rules, and some of them are very, very strict on doing that. So maybe he was trying to hide But like in I believe it's Singapore, like you can't spit on the sidewalk or you'll get lashed. Like you'll get lashes for spitting on the sidewalk. You can't throw trash on the side. You can't litter.
Okay.
So depending on where this guy is, maybe like peeing has like a jail sentence or a certain fine.
I'd rather
he
go to
won't-
jail than piss on an electrical substation and feel that kind of wrath.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's how bad the pee had to have been that he didn't. It was so bad, he didn't even recognize that there was a electrical substation there. He's just like, oh, finally a shed.
He learned a very painful, valuable lesson this night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
BP,
but maybe this is
TSD.
Yeah. maybe this
Mhm.
is his like superhero origin story, like how he got his how
Like
he
what?
got his powers.
It's
becomes-
Electroween.
Yeah, he becomes P. Nito.
真服了，这真是懒驴屎尿多。刚出门，你看，我操！我真服了，
One more
这
time.
真是懒驴屎尿多。刚出门，你看，我操！
I mean, you could not have planned or choreographed that any better. The timing is
Oh.
perfect.
It really, really is. It's a thing of beauty. And again, I want to say thank you to this unnamed man for his sacrifice to humanity, for the humor that we find on this Friday inside the Treehouse. Again, I don't know if he is alive or if this unfortunate pee killed him, but
Yeah.
he needs to know that he is appreciated.
Mhm.
And if by some way, you know, that was the only legal place to pee, then Alan Funt wrote their laws.
And they should not be trusted.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you love guns or hunting, you're going to love Defender Outdoors. Defender Outdoors Shooting Center is 43,000 square feet of guns, gun range, and gun fun. Firearms, ammo, apparel, accessories, and more. Have a bachelor party, birthday, or team building event? All-inclusive packages available for endless entertainment. Training classes are added weekly, and private instruction is always available. Come see why Defender has been voted the best gun range in North Texas 5 years in a row. Visit us at defenderoutdoors.com. Defender Outdoors. Are you a defender?
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Defender Outdoors. Defender Outdoors is Fort Worth's premier indoor gun range. Let Defender Outdoors in Fort Worth and their knowledgeable retail associates help you choose your next firearm, ammo, gear, optics, knives, and so much more in one of the most beautiful and safest gun ranges in all of North Texas. I talk for a living sometimes. They have a wide range of training classes for all skill levels, from beginners to competitive shooters. They also offer private lessons tailored to your specific goals. So if you want to go shoot somewhere, go to Defender Outdoors in Fort Worth. And when you shop in-store and online, use code TREEHOUSE for special discounts at Defender Outdoors and defenderoutdoors.com. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm, Jerry Caldwell, and Raj Sharma. Today is Friday, May 2nd, 2025. This next story checks some Treehouse Show boxes. It checks some major Treehouse Show boxes. It's kind of sexy, and it's full-blown stupid. A Florida nurse lost her license after her husband found her having sex with his 15-year-old son. Yeah. This does hit a double porn category: hot stepmom stuff and nurses. Now, while this story, unlike the first thing we talked about, is figuratively shocking, the first story we talked about was literally shocking. This one's just figuratively shocking. Now, I can't prove it, but I'm blaming Ted Cruz for this. Here's why. He got everyone curious about stepmom threesomes when he liked that video on Pornhub a handful of years ago. Now, he blamed it on a staffer, but how do we know that that's not his nickname for his ding dong? I'd also like, on a separate note, to a somewhat separate note, I'd like to point out that this faux incest porn really needs to stop. The my stepbrother this, my stepmom that, family therapy, family strokes, Mr. Belvedere. It's really gotten out of hand.
Or just those,
Belvedere?
yeah, or just those your top 3 favorites.
Just things
And the
I've
like.
noticed. Look, I have a defense for this, okay? I was just looking for All in the Family reruns, and instead I learned about Rachel Starr's very inappropriate relationship with her black stepbrother. Once
You were
again,
looking for All in the Family reruns, and you ran into porn.
the safe search function is very important, Raj.
See, okay.
Well, thank God you weren't looking for the Love Boat.
Fantasy Island takes
All
on a
right.
whole new meaning.
I feel like every day, like the last week, every day there's been some new news story where you've got an older female, preying on some teenage guy. But this one to me really is next level. What?
I'm about to agree with Trey.
Are they preying on the teenage guy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
According to the law, yes. That being said, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go out on a limb here that the 15-year-old versions of all of us
Mhm.
would have been just fine to hook up with a hot nurse
Yes,
or teacher.
Yeah.
or
or
teacher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It does get a little weird though if it's dad's wife. Now, I don't know anything about the entirety of the relationship. I don't know how long she was his stepmom. It's wrong, very wrong. And I can't quite wrap my brain around being a 15-year-old and then yeah, that's very, very odd to me. But I haven't been there, so what do I know?
Yeah, that's going to make for a very awkward Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
It's just stepmom on the table.
Me first, then the turkey.
Talk about stuffing.
Exactly.
It really is troubling, though. Shocking story aside, why is that theme of stuff popular online when it comes to adult sites? Why are people into the step sibling thing, the step person thing? I don't understand that. To me, it's ooky. Why is it so popular?
Because I guess it's because it's taboo
Right.
enough,
Yes.
but it's also legal because it's not your actual blood relative.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
think that's what it is. And same thing with like these kids that are like having sex in school with their teachers. Like, yeah, have you seen the teachers today? Smoke shows. The ones we had back in the day. No.
Few and
Like-
far between.
Yeah. Like I had a 3rd grade teacher named Miss Wisdom, and Mr. Wisdom didn't want her. Like she had a face for radio. Like it wasn't great. She was an old mean lady. Like that's what we had for the most part. We had
Mhm.
one teacher in elementary school, smoke show, but then that was the principal's daughter. So you're like, oh, okay, but like got to high school and it was just like, no. And then my college girlfriend, who was a teacher now is a librarian, just stunning, just absolutely stunning. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, these kids today have that to look at. I'm like, we did not.
No wonder test scores are going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but library rentals are through the roof.
Yeah.
Usually in school, the library was the last place you would find any of us, unless of course that was where detention was held. I couldn't even tell you at my high school, Lamar High School in Arlington. I knew where the library was. I was in it a few times. I don't even know who the librarian was. I don't know if it was a guy. I don't know if it was a female. I have no idea. I couldn't point out the librarian in a lineup at all.
Wow. I went to the library for fun.
And you call us nerds when we talk about Star Wars.
Yes.
Hey, I did too. The public library, not the one at school. That one was
Yeah, I did that one as well. But we had to like get a book every 2 weeks and then write a book report. That
I
was just
think
for
we're
home. That was just
we
for
were
home.
I think we were among the last generation as far as Generation X, maybe a little bit of millennials actually went to a library like the city library to do research for some type of school project.
I just went to a library. I mean, we are definitely the last generation that knows how to use the Dewey Decimal System.
Do we?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I
Dan,
remember.
I think you were at a disadvantage because, the big red pencil and the children's book were in a separate area that you could just go to.
Yeah. I mean, I'd go in the front door and I get distracted by the Clifford the big red dogs, section, and that's just where that's where I was.
Dan calls the classics like Green Eggs and Ham.
Those aren't classics.
They won't be on the test.
That explains why I didn't enjoy Canterbury Tales in the Middle English.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you like the Treehouse Show, then you will love us on social media. So give us a follow. At Treehouse On Air is our handle across all the social media platforms. At Treehouse On Air. Give the Treehouse Show a follow today. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan. He's Trey. That is Raj. And there is Jerry on Friday, May 2nd, 2025. What does the narcissist say? I have 7 phrases that you will hear from highly narcissistic people. So see if any of these sound familiar to you and perhaps identify the narcissist in your life, which, by the way, I believe it's like 5% of the population is either psychopath, sociopath, highly narcissistic, sharing all those common traits. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually kind of is. I mean, you're talking about 5% of the population. That's quite a bit. That's like what, 1 in 20?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you know 20 people, then you know at least one veritable crazy narcissist, sociopath, psychopath type individual. So let's see if any of these phrases that they use sound familiar to you so you can identify the narcissist in your life. Jerry, why are you shaking your head like that?
If you work in radio, you know a lot more than that.
Yeah, the percentage is much higher in radio.
Yeah.
So these are going to really shoot off some flares in our world. Number 1, you're lucky I even care. Which, by the way, some of these phrases are not exactly what your narcissist will say, but the sentiment is definitely going to be there. So one thing the narcissist says, you're lucky I even care. Narcissists see themselves as special and better than everybody else. Yep, this sounds familiar. They believe that other people should feel grateful to be in their orbit because they are so flawed by comparison. Similar phrases, you don't deserve me, and you should feel relieved that I haven't cut you out of my life.
Okay.
Yeah. I think me, Trey, Jerry.
We're 1 for 1 so far.
Yep, sounds familiar. Got that. Raj, familiar to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So in that case, 4 dings all the way around inside the treehouse. Number 2 of the 7 things the narcissist says, you're so pathetic. Many narcissists are chronically disappointed by others. In response, they may put those people down with cutting, hurtful, and mean-spirited insults. Show of hands. Jerry, Trey, and Raj is a yes. Number 3 of the things that the narcissist says, you need me. Narcissists often resort to manipulative tactics like threats or intimidation to keep people invested in the relationship because they feel safer maintaining control rather than sharing power. Show of hands. Me, Trey, Jerry, Raj. This is getting freaky. Similar phrases to "you need me" are "be careful" or "you'll push me away," and "I'll ruin you if you cross me, and no one will want to be associated with you." Whew. Number 4, the things that narcissist says: "You are wrong to feel that way." It's hard for people with narcissistic traits to empathize with others. As a result, they rarely see the other person in a relationship as an independent individual with their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Similar phrases might include, "my feelings matter more than yours, and I'm usually right." One phrase I heard a few times is, "I'm the one that matters." So that one is there. Trey, you, yep. Jerry, that's a big yes. Raj?
I haven't heard that one, but I have said on occasion that I am usually right. I have said that before.
But that's because you are,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, that's okay if it's
okay.
true,
Yep,
but
yep,
not just
yep.
gaslighting. Yeah, okay. Number 5, everyone else is an idiot. Yeah, that
Yeah.
Jerry's hands up, Trey's up, Raj is up. Yep. Narcissists have a strong desire to feel superior to others. One way they do that is by putting people down. Sorry, I'm getting carried away with this bell, but this is really hitting home. They tend to make negative comments about everybody else, friends, family, or even unknown acquaintances. They build themselves up as part of a separate, special kind of person. Wow. Number 6, my feelings are your fault. When a narcissist is upset, they'll blame others for their feelings instead of acknowledging their role in the situation. Show of hands, experience that? That's me, Trey, Jerry, and Raj. And number 7 of the things that the narcissist says, I don't have time for this. People with narcissistic tendencies are good at stonewalling, cutting off communication to show how upset they are. They'll pretend to not be affected while giving you the silent treatment. Similar phrases are, I'm fine, what are you even talking about? And just outright saying nothing at all. So a narcissist says, I don't have time for this. Yep. Trey, yep. Jerry, yep. Raj, yep.
2 bosses and an ex.
Yes.
That sounds like the name of your country album. Ladies and gentlemen, Trey Trenholm.
That's
There's
right.
2 bosses and an ex.
No O in that title.
They say the number 1 way to respond to a narcissist is to set clear boundaries and just not react at all.
Man, that one's hard for me.
I think that's hard for most people. I will say this, not reacting at all is really difficult, especially when you feel the need to defend yourself.
Right. Because another thing that it did mention in this is that narcissists are really good at finding your buttons and sticking their fingers in them.
Kind of like Cassandra Nova in Deadpool and Wolverine, just right up in your brain. Just yeah. So they say the best thing you can do, set clear boundaries with the narcissist. Whoever said that hasn't dealt with some of the malignant narcissists in our lives.
Yes.
Because the big narcissist in my life didn't give a absolute flying about anyone's boundaries. There were no boundaries.
Nope.
You were nothing. Yeah. We're all just stewing in memories right now. This is one of those things that is the ultimate in relatability for all of us here inside the Treehouse Show. See if there's any other silver linings here. They say that while a narcissist may continue to communicate in harmful ways, their words can't have power over you unless you let them. Or in my case, if they die.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. That's treehouseonair.com. On our website, you get past shows, links, contact info, and more, including our all-new Treehouse Talkback feature. Microphone, lower right-hand corner. Click on that, leave us a message, and we might play it on Tuesdays during our Treehouse Talkback Tuesday show right here inside the Treehouse. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan. He's Trey. That's Raj. And he is Jerry. We were just talking about the 7 things that the narcissists say. And Jerry, you said your ex did what for a living?
She was a psychometrist.
What is that?
She was the person that would administer the oral tests to find out where on the spectrum your personality disorder fell.
Oh.
Psychometrist.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was just somebody who was like a counselor and did eye exams. Read the second line.
I think it says I have no empathy. I have no empathy.
Yes.
Okay.
How does that make you feel?
Nothing.
I just want glasses.
I just know everything is your fault, not mine. And Jerry, you said she herself was on that personality disorder spectrum?
Oh, she was almost textbook narcissist.
Of the 7 things that we just read that the narcissists say, how many did she have?
6.
Jesus.
Wow.
So a narcissist, psychometrist. So that means as a narcissist, she was in charge of diagnosing personality disorders.
Mm-hmm.
That is some next level irony.
Including narcissism.
Can a
Wow.
narcissist spot another narcissist?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can smell each other across the room.
I knew a guy
hate
in
each other? Or do they become like, do they hate each other or do they become like besties?
It depends. If they have, I have found, okay, that if they have a similar motive, a similar task, a similar goal, they can join forces.
Ooh, narcissist team up.
Yeah.
But in a relationship wise, 2 narcissists, I mean, first you start love bombing and both of them love that because that's the part that both of them need.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first one that starts to move over into, the bad, controlling, less than me part absolutely triggers the other one because that's the thing that they hate the most.
Gotcha.
So it's like in the beginning, it's like, and then there's an explosion. It's
All right. Thank you for that description. Very,
yeah.
Now I understand it pretty well. I do know I have a tendency, I think, to confuse psychopathy and sociopathy with the narcissism because I think really it's like you can be a sociopath or a psychopath and not be a narcissist. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. But I feel like a narcissist, definitely narcissist traits go into the whole psycho and sociopathology. Not that
if
I'm
it was
an
on a
expert.
Venn diagram, the sociopath and the narcissist bubbles would cross over.
Yeah.
So, and in the middle is where the 4 of us have been at various points in our lives with people, also known as the threshold of hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know that we have that connection.
Mm-hmm. That trauma bond.
Yeah, that trauma bond. That's exactly what it is. It's amazing the things you can find on therapy, Twitter and therapy social media. Therapy's free online. Don't have to pay for it. Like instead of $300 an hour, you can just look at various social media accounts and go like, "Oh yeah, I have that."
That's not therapy. That's just diagnosis.
No, there's some steps you can take in there as long as you comment guide, and then they send you the free guide. Steps to loving yourself.
I like how you're looking for free mental health.
Hey man, it's tough out there.
Mental health on a budget, baby.
Mm-hmm.
the ultimate expression, or the ultimate narcissist. Someone who's tell you about their dog dying, but is too busy to go be with their dog when they die.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, it sounds familiar, and just trying to think who that reminds me of. You want the attention for somebody else's or some other creature's pain.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's freakish.
Mhm.
Who would do such a thing?
It's not called Subtle Fridays, at least.
No, it is not.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by our Patreon. You can get more Treehouse when you subscribe to Treehouse Plus. With Treehouse Plus, you get bonus content, subscriber-only episodes, including video, and it's all available at patreon.com/treehouseonair. That's patreon.com/treehouseonair to subscribe to Treehouse Plus today. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm, Raj Sharma, and Jerry Caldwell. Today is Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Let's celebrate with some birthdays. Singer Lily Allen turns 40 today. Her big songs are Smile and F.U.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do things go together.
Yeah, sometimes I do. From Grey's Anatomy, Gaius Charles is 42, played Dr. Shane Ross, and Smash Williams on Friday Night Lights. Gaius Charles is 42. Ellie Kemper is 46, probably best known as Erin on The Office. She was the one that took over the front desk when Pam moved to sales. She's also the star of the Netflix show Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Jenna Von Oy turns 48 today, making all of us feel super old. Jenna Von Oy, also known as Six on Blossom, is 48 today. David Beckham turns 50. International soccer sensation. David Beckham turns 50. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is 53. I have something to admit, and I know it's not going to surprise you, it's not going to surprise you, Trey, or you, Raj. I've seen probably the majority of The Rock's movies, and I'm not proud of it. I know that I'll say that I'm a fan of some bad movies, but I really only like the bad movies that are so bad they're good. Sometimes there's just some bad movies that are just dreadful. And one of the ones that comes to mind is Skyscraper, starring The Rock. Yeah, Trey, I'm the guy that saw that.
I've seen it too.
Wow. The
You
shame.
have?
The shame on Trey's face.
Oh, that's not shame.
No, that's shame. I don't know if you
Oh,
know what
yeah.
shame looks like.
That's what Netflix and chill looks like with me and Trey and The Rock. Wasn't that movie just like hot garbage?
Yeah, I mean the one-legged rock that was leaping buildings. Yes, it was garbage.
He really was. He leapt between buildings on these Chinese skyscrapers. So stupid. Now I give him credit because the man is like banking $60 to $70 million per year, but that movie was really, really bad. And I think he's really good and a lot of fun in some films, not this one. And that movie, Skyscraper, co-starred Neve Campbell. He dug up Neve Campbell to play his wife in that film. And I imagine even she was like, oh, I got to go back to the Scream franchise.
How does she die in the movie?
No, I think he saves her in the end.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he was like an FBI, what do they call it? Like a special response team, like FBI special response team or something. And some mission years ago, a bomb goes off and he loses his leg. So now he's got a prosthetic, and then he ends up working in private security in some skyscraper, awesome, amazing building in China. It's basically The Rock's attempt at Die Hard. And it not to make light of, people with less than all their limbs, but it's a little bit. And of course, the building catches fire. He's got to save his family. Yeah, it's just really ridiculous.
At any point, does he use the leg? Like the
Like, does he
prosthetic?
beat any fools with it or
Yeah.
throw it at somebody?
I don't think he does, because if he did, I might have liked it.
Okay.
I'm just glad to know that, Trey, you too have seen Skyscraper starring The Rock.
Did you see it? Did you see it in the theater?
No.
No. That'd be silly.
That was a Netflix special.
Gotcha. Okay.
I will go see The Accountant 2 in theaters, but I'm not going to see Skyscraper.
Right.
The Accountant 2, by the way, is probably awesome. The Accountant 1 was awesome. Anyway, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he is 53 today. If you want a good rock movie, the Jumanji movies, the 2 that he did, those are really good. The Baywatch movie, don't do it. Don't do
Central Intelligence was very good.
I enjoyed that. That was funny.
Yeah,
the Baywatch movie, don't do it.
Yeah, I would never.
No. Other birthdays today. Mika Brzezinski is 58. That's from MSNBC. Country singer Ty Herndon is 63 today. He of the park in Fort Worth got busted whacking it. Ty Herndon, country singer and park whacker. 63 today. I think that's his new album, by the way.
I would love to see that press junket. Please join me on my new tour. Parkle Wanker.
I'd like to get an album cover.
It's just a picture of George Michael.
Oh, I meant to bring this up earlier. We were so I mentioned Nev Campbell, from Scream fame. Did you guys know that they're doing a continuation, or maybe it's a reboot? They're doing a reboot of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I watched the trailer for it the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually kind of enjoyed that one.
I liked the movie when it came out back in the day. I mean, that was a pure 90s horror slasher flick. Once that genre came back, thanks to Scream, and then it inspired a few other films after it, including I Know What You Did Last Summer, which was such a dumb premise, and it only gets dumber. Like in the new trilogy, there's a part in it because it's all new cast, it's all new young kids who did something they shouldn't have last summer, and now the scary Gordon's fisherman guy with the hook hand is coming to kill them all. And in one of the scenes, it's Jennifer Love Hewitt turning around, looking at one of the new cast members saying, I have one question for you. Do you know what you did last summer? I was like, oh, Jennifer.
They dug up Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yep, sure did.
First of all, you guys will not speak ill of my future ex-wife.
She had a good run on 911. And she was also on that show. Was it Medium or whatever it was, or she played some psychic medium on CBS?
No, it was something like Ghost.
Ghost Whisperer.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, but she's my future ex-wife, and you will not speak ill of her.
Yeah, she was Russ's too. Congratulations.
Man had good taste.
Not in every.
Yeah.
There's some seriously questionable decisions that have been made along the lines. But yeah, no. If you want to be seriously entertained, and by entertained I mean, oh God, I'm not watching that. Go watch the new trailer for I Know What You Did Last Summer, or would it be I Know What You Did last summer? I Know What You Did Last Summer 20 years ago, something along those lines. Freddie Prinze Jr. is even in it.
Hey,
wow.
I like that guy. I do.
Excellent.
I think he's really happy that they brought that back.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you want to tell us something, you can do that via the Treehouse Talkback feature at treehouseonair.com. Click on the microphone, lower right-hand corner, and leave us a message. Talk back to the Treehouse today at treehouseonair.com. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. Today is Friday, May 2nd, 2025. We had the big discussion yesterday with our buddy Justin Foster about the new permits that are needed and required for someone to climb Mount Everest. And that got us talking about mountaineering and how ridiculous it is, and just the adventure you have to go through to get to the Mount Everest base camp before you even put your life on the line on Mount Everest. But that's not the only mountain in the world that people climb. There's another one. It goes by the name of Mount Fuji. And I'm going to tell you a story, and I want you to tell me if you believe it or not. And if that sounds familiar, it should, because it is time for Believe It or Not. Inside the Treehouse. That's the wrong, hang on. That's the wrong one. Hang on.
You gotta give it.
Nope, hang on. I'm going to find it. Give me a second. Nope. Nope. There it is. It's time for Believe It or Not. Inside the Treehouse. I'm going to share a story with you, and you have to tell me whether you believe it or not. Do you believe it or not? A student had to be rescued on Mount Fuji. A student had to be rescued on Mount Fuji twice in 4 days because the second time he went back for his phone. Do you believe it or not? A student had to be rescued on Mount Fuji twice in 4 days because the second time he went back for his phone. Raj, do you believe it or not?
I believe it.
Trey, believe it or not?
Yeah, I believe it.
You are both correct. This is an absolutely true and factual story about an abject moron. On April 22nd, a student from China was first rescued by helicopter after losing his crampons and getting stranded in the snow. I'm pretty sure crampons are like a type of mountaineering equipment. Not
So they're literally the spikes you put over your shoes that allow you to traverse ice and things like that.
Yep.
Gotcha. Because when I see that word crampons, I think it's some sort of mashup between cramps and tampons, and that might explain why he got stuck on the mountain. But no, it's because of the mountaineering equipment. So he got stuck up there, and then he got rescued. Well, I guess he got rescued too quickly because 4 days later, he returned to Mount Fuji to try to find his phone.
Of course. That's what you do.
Yeah, and because of that, he had to be rescued again because he was suffering from altitude sickness while looking for his phone. It's unclear whether or not he ever actually found the phone that he went back to search for. Get the insurance. Problem solved. Get the insurance on the phone, bro. Let it live on the mountain.
I don't know if they because the phones are so cheap overseas. Like the iPhone, the new iPhone 16 that's like $1,000 or $1,200, $1,500 here.
Mm-hmm.
In China, I believe is $9. So people don't get the insurance. I don't think there is insurance available because they're just so cheap. You can just get another phone.
If it was that cheap, there's no way he would risk dying on Mount Fuji to go back for it.
No, I'm not saying he's not an idiot. I'm just saying that the phones are cheap.
Or maybe he just had some really good contacts in there.
Yeah.
Or maybe his debit card was somehow like was a wallet phone attachment type of deal.
Or whatever the pics are in there might need to have been saved.
Ooh.
Maybe. Yeah.
What's he afraid is going to happen? Some other random Mount Fuji climber's going to see it and go, oh, look at wiener pics.
Yeah.
How embarrassed are you? If you're that embarrassed, you're not taking pictures of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. I don't know what's on. I don't know what's on his pics, but he was like, "I got to get up there again." Like, you could die. You don't know what's on that phone.
Okay, now I'm with you, Raj. I think we need to find that phone because there's something really bad on there that we need to know about if he is that desperate to get it.
Yeah, if they have to send a search party out because you don't want to show people what's on your phone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
I
is he
gotta see
that
this
afraid
phone.
the abominable snowman's going to find it and accidentally back it up to the cloud and it's going to be published someplace? Like, oh my God, I've been found out.
Yeah,
Let-
I can't imagine. Like, let me climb this mountain again because I dropped my iPhone. I'm like, you know what? I'm Samsung now. That's it. Like, I'm Android. Like, that's all I can do now.
Now, if I did that in the States, and because like you said, phones now cost $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $1,600,
Mhm.
I might go back to the top of Mount Rainier to go find my phone because phones are so expensive, and because I don't want to have to wait in line at the AT&T store to try to give them the reason why I want the new phone and I don't want to have to pay for it. I just don't want to go back to the phone store.
Yeah, but what do you say to the so do you want us to do you want us to store your information in the new phone? Just be like, no, that's why I dropped it on Mount Fuji.
Would you like to restore this from the last backup? No,
No.
that's a bad idea, because if you do, then you'll be an accomplice. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. You can also find and follow the show on social media at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. And for Raj, it's at Comedian Raj. We'll see you back in here on Monday inside the Treehouse.